Now there are many YouTube preachers, and they're opening their eyes about the mainstream churches and warn about them, and warn about true salvation. And I feel that I see a lot of true born-again Christians on YouTube preaching about salvation. But what I see is some of them say the Bible is not the Word of God, and they actually admonish people like studying Bible really hard. And they say studying Bible will not get you closer to God. And they put down studying Bible, and they say you have to learn to receive direct guidance from God, and you have to be able to listen to God. And so what I see happening is, if you do that, then especially about this end time, you will be led to a wrong direction about this end time. So they focus more on hearing God, but they think lightly about studying Bible. And so I almost never see them talking about especially the Bible prophecy. So they don't talk about Bible prophecy, and they say it's foolish to think about apocalypse and the return of Jesus, and you shouldn't be distracted by those things, and you just have to focus on following Jesus. So what I see is they are completely ignorant of a coming Great Tribulation. So I saw one YouTube preacher saying he received the voice of God saying the Great Tribulation is about possession by demons. So that's how you will be suffering in the Great Tribulation. But what I like to tell you is that that's not all. That might be a part of a Great Tribulation, but that's not all. The Great Tribulation is about the Antichrist, and those who resist Antichrist, they will have to suffer great torment and persecution and torture, and their sons and daughters will be tortured in front of their eyes, and it will be like a hellish place on this earth. So if you ignore the Bible teachings, especially about the prophecy, and you try to rely on God's voice only to be guided in the end time, then you might end up having belief like that, Great Tribulation is all about demons possessing you. So they get to think very lightly of the Great Tribulation. And what I like to tell you is that true born-again Christians will start hearing God's voice. But what I experience is that you sometimes hear God's voice in your heart, and sometimes you get guided by God's voice in your heart. But what I like to tell you is that although you hear God's voice, most of the times you're not 100% sure it's God's voice. So sometimes it's not clear how to distinguish God's voice from your own thoughts. So if you just try to rely solely on God's voice to be guided, then confusion like that can happen. So this YouTube preacher doesn't study about prophecy in the Bible and rely solely on God's voice, so he makes a wrong conclusion about the Great Tribulation. And also I used to try to warn other born-again Christians about the coming Great Tribulation. So I used to contact some of the YouTube preachers and try to talk about Great Tribulation and things like that. But some time ago, God warned me not to interfere with other ministries. So he told me not to directly try to correct other servants of God about the end time. So I don't do that anymore. So I feel saddened by what I see. So I like to urge you to not ignore the Bible. So especially you have to study the Bible prophecy and the book of Revelation. So a lot of misconception about end time, the timing of rapture stems from the misunderstanding of the book of Revelation. So I made a series of videos about the book of Revelation, and you have to know this Bible prophecy. And I see a lot of those true born-again Christians, the servants of God, will be trapped in the Great Tribulation. So what I see is, although they are guided by God, and they are true born-again servants, but God leaves them in the dark about the coming Great Tribulation. I believe it's because the workers are needed who will work inside of the Great Tribulation. So I don't try to warn directly to them about the Great Tribulation, but that's what I see. So I urge you to really study Bible, especially Bible prophecy, so that you are wisely preparing about the things to come. And meanwhile, I see that Iran is increasingly openly hostile about Israel. They are saying the Israel regime will end soon, and they are sending a lot of weapons to the countries beside Israel. And it looks like they are getting ready to attack Israel. And some of the politicians are suggesting that Israel might have to strike Iran within 1 year to be able to stop them from attacking Israel with a nuclear weapon. So I shared on this YouTube channel about the Jewish boy Nathan saw when he died and went to heaven. And what he saw was Iran attacked Israel with nuclear weapon, and then half of Jewish people will die, and then suddenly the Jewish Messiah will appear and save Israel. And I believe that that Jewish Messiah is the Antichrist, and he will start the Great Tribulation. So it looks like things are accelerating right now. So I hope that you will realize this and study Bible prophecies so that you can understand the messages like the Nathan's prophecy, so that you can prepare wisely about the things to come in this end time.